Let me take you on a journey to Lahore, Pakistan's cultural capital, a city that truly defines the phrase organized chaos. On one hand, Lahore is steeped in history, a jewel of Mughal architecture and a hub of art, music, and poetry. On the other, it's a place where pollution chokes the air, the streets hum with relentless noise, and sanitation is more of a suggestion than a rule. In 2024, Lahore has made its name to rank among the world's most polluted cities. But pollution is only one chapter of this city's chaotic story. Living in Lahore is an experience, which is a physical as well as emotional and psychological roller coaster. It's vibrant, frustrating, dazzling, and devastating, all at the same time. Today, we'll dive deep into what it truly feels like to live in this paradox of a city, a place where life thrives despite the odds. Buckle up, because this isn't just a story about Lahore. It's a story about human resilience in the face of overwhelming challenges. Lahore is not only large, it is overflowing. It has more than 13 million people squeezed into a little 684 square kilometers of area. The place pulsates with activity every second of the day. That translates into over 19,000 people per square kilometer. Think of it. Every street, shop, and public space is crowded. This density isn't just a statistic, it's a way of life. Public buses are packed so tight that people hang from the doors. Markets are so packed that moving a few feet can take minutes. Yet somehow, Lahoris make it work. They laugh, they argue, they trade, and they endure. But the sheer number of people has its downsides. Public services like water, electricity, and sanitation struggle to keep up. Power outages are a daily reality, and water shortages hit during the blistering summer months. Still, the city doesn't stop. Its people push forward, adapting to whatever challenges come their way. Here's a grim reality. The air you breathe in Lahore can shorten your lifespan. According to air quality monitoring agencies, the city's air quality index, AQI, regularly hits hazardous levels, often crossing 300. At these levels, the air isn't just unhealthy, it's downright dangerous. The main culprits? Smog from aged, unregulated vehicles, industrial smoke, and of course construction dust that always seems to permeate the air. Winter worsens things, with the infamous Lahore smog settling like a suffocating blanket on the city. Schools shut down, flights are delayed, and outdoor activities come to a grinding halt. Health issues are widespread. Chronic respiratory diseases, asthma, and even heart conditions are on the rise. And then there is the psychological aspect. Imagine waking up every day to a hazy, gray sky, knowing that every breath you take could be harming your body. Lahore's streets are not just roads, they're battlegrounds. Every trip outside feels like an adventure, with motorcycles, rickshaws, buses, and donkey carts vying for dominance. Traffic laws? They exist, but apparently nobody follows them. Infrastructure in the city wasn't built for such an incredible number of cars, so it's clearly showing. At times, it is easy to see 3 lanes of automobiles squeezed into 2 lanes on the road, and some motorcycles jump on sidewalks to avoid being stuck in congestion. Crossing the road in Lahore is an art and a lottery. People just step out into the flow of traffic, trusting instincts and raw nerve to carry them across. And the honking, it's always there, a sort of never-ending background score for city life. It's so loud and widespread that most people make light of having developed honking immunity. The eatables beside the road and restaurants had an open kitchen. The chef cooked the curry with one hand. He was swatting flies with the other. Lahore may take the liberty to accommodate many things in its sanitation, but when it comes to hygiene, this aspect varies depending on one's saying and doing. Stalls at every street contain dishes such as spicy samosas or sweet jalebis and so on. But then who will talk about cleanliness? In such places, utensils get cleaned in impure water. Food is cooked outdoors while flies dance to freedom at nearby stations. It's not just the food. Public toilets are quite inaccessible, and water is mostly contaminated. Most families have set up water purification systems. Otherwise, waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid lurk around a house corner at all times. Lahore alone generates more than 6,000 tons of solid waste on a daily basis, though there is a long way off yet to properly dispose it of. Trash is often dumped on roadsides, creating mountains of waste that emit foul odors and attract pests. During the rainy season, these garbage dumps mix with floodwaters, creating a toxic brew that seeps into homes and shops. The city's drainage system, already outdated, can't cope, leading to frequent urban flooding. It is a vicious cycle. Wastage leads to health issues and clogs the city's stressed healthcare system. Lahore is Pakistan's heart, a city that never sleeps, and part of its vibrancy, chaos, comes from the extreme sounds. Extreme noise pollution has become an almost daily affair for Lahore's 11 million inhabitants, as the city is bothered with it. The streets of Lahore are full of all kinds of vehicles, cars, motorcycles, rickshaws, and donkey carts, that contribute to the incessant honking. With strict traffic rules not in place, drivers often use horns to assert dominance in congested roads. Rickshaws, especially with their loud two-stroke engines, make that high-pitched noise which sounds through narrow streets. Megastructures, Orange Line metro train, and multiple flyovers have contributed to increasing levels of decibel and sound even within domestic homes. Markets are a buzz of noise as vendors scream to attract the attention of their customers, megaphones blaring sales pitches, and street musicians add their tunes to the already chaotic environment. Among them is Anarkali Bazaar and Liberty Market. Prolonged exposure to high levels of noise causes stress, anxiety, and sometimes hearing loss. Many Lahoris complain of constant headaches and fatigue due to relentless noise. Concentrating for students and office workers in such a hubbub is a constant fight. Nights in Lahore are not spared from noise, be it the wedding celebrations, street vendors, or late-night traffic. Many people have learned to live with the noise using noise-canceling headphones, thick window coverings, or simply accepting it as part of Lahore's identity. The people of Lahore are the heart of the city, who are synonymous with hospitality, humor, and zest for life. They are not just mere inhabitants, but are custodians of a centuries-old heritage and a rich cultural past. People of Lahore are known for their hospitality. Whether you're a guest at someone's home or a tourist asking for directions, they often go out of their way to make you feel at home. They have an extremely proud sense of belonging to the city. In short words, one can say that they really feel Lahore Lahore I, meaning Lahore is Lahore. Nothing can replace the charm, culture, and energy it possesses. The people of Lahore never miss an opportunity to celebrate. Be it a cricket match, an Eid religious festival, or a wedding, the city erupts in excitement and celebration. The city of Lahore cannot be discussed without the food culture, often termed as the defining feature of the city. Often referred to as the food capital of Pakistan, Lahore has an unparalleled culinary experience that reflects its rich history and vibrant personality. Historic Hira Mandi is the home of very fine kebabs, nihari and payas, with the spices, aroma, and smoky flavors emerging from open grills an inevitable temptation for food lovers. This iconic food street, the Gawal Mandi Street, is the heaven for all food lovers. Fresh servings of the following dishes, such as golgappe, bun kebab, and chana chaat, with the sounds of street musicians make it perfect. Starting from syrupy warm gulab jamuns to crispy jalebis, Lahore's sweets are an absolute must-try. Panjiri and koya mithai are essentials during winters. For those who like the more classy experience, Lahore also features some of the best restaurants serving local and international dishes. Some of the examples include Cafe Ailanto and Cosa Nostra, due to their ambiance and food variety. The signature dish of Lahore are halim, which is a slow-cooked mixture of lentils, wheat, and meat, which is considered the comfort food of Lahore. Chicken karahi, a sizzling, spicy dish served in a wok, is at the center of family reunions. And no meal in Lahore could be complete without a refreshing glass of lassi, an old yogurt-based drink given sweet or salty. Food in Lahore is more than just sustenance, it's a way of life. The people of Lahore bond over food, whether it's sharing a plate of biryani during lunch or sitting down for a lavish iftar during Ramadan. Together, these elements, noise pollution, its vibrant people, and iconic food culture, have created a chaotic yet exciting city. Overwhelming the senses, Lahore has much for those who want to embrace its rhythm. An unforgettable experience. Despite all these challenges, the people of Lahore are its beating heart. Lahoris are known for their warmth, hospitality, and humor. They find joy in the simplest things: a cup of chai, a cricket match in a dusty alley, or a late-night food run with friends. Lahore's resilience lies in the ability of its people to adapt and thrive, no matter what the circumstances are. It is this spirit that keeps the city alive. No discussion of Lahore is complete without mentioning its food. From the fiery spices of a plate of biryani to the melt-in-your-mouth tenderness of nihari, Lahore's culinary scene is second to none. Yes, you might worry about hygiene, but the flavors are unforgettable. Food is not just sustenance here, it's a celebration of life. Living in Lahore is not for everybody. It is dusty, noisy, and chaotic, but it is also full of life, vibrant and resilient. It's a city that challenges you, frustrates you, and finally wins you over. Lahore isn't perfect, but it is real, raw, and unforgettable.